An arid desert, spanned entirely by the cutting wind and howls of falling rocks, is suddenly rumbling with sound as an armored caravan rushes through. Inside one of the vans, 6 people sit down. They are shaking, either because they are unused to the rumbling of the van, or because of something darker. One of the 2 guards inside with them speaks up, noting that they've likely been briefed, but they are not to leave the designated area and avoid words or actions that might provoke the prisoners. He will only tell them now that they are to exercise strict caution. Seeing that the van is void of talking after this, a woman with a bright look in her eye, Lala, introduces herself to the one next to her, noting that she's come to teach science. Dante Kong introduces himself too, and notes that he's here for science too. They shake hands, Lala finding it a nice coincidence, and Dante guessing that science had the most sign-ups. The other teachers begin piping up too, one by one noting that he's here to teach ethics, another music. The other 2 teach math and art. Their sections aren't as popular either. The music teacher notes that he feels like he can breathe now. They didn't say a word until this point, which he found weird. The ethics teacher looks out, noting that everyone was just really tense, as who could have imagined that they would end up here, in the world's largest prison, which has been compared to hell on multiple occasions, Fogland. Lala plays it off, noting that he shouldn't scare them so much. Anyway, it's called an international prison, so what could go wrong? The ethics teacher notes that it being an international prison makes it all the more suspicious. Does she know the story of how Fogland came to be? 50 years ago, in the middle of a desert, a massive meteorite crashed. 5 years later, all the world's great powers joined forces and built a prison on top of it. The music teacher perks up. That's why there are so many urban legends about it online. Like that it's there to imprison aliens or things like that. The ethics teacher confirms as such. He crouches down, his voice audible enough just for everyone to hear. One scholar even claimed that Fogland opened the gates to hell, so they just might be going to teach monsters. Dante lets out a choked laugh, wondering if educators like them really believe such things. People live in all corners of the world, and everyone has a right to learn, no matter what or who they are. The ethics teacher wonders if he really isn't scared, even if the rumors are false. That's still an international prison they are going in. It houses world-class criminals. Dante denies such a feeling. Those are just people that are lacking education, or so he thinks at least. As the others just kind of look at him, a guard gets a report over a walkie-talkie interrupts them. There are only 5 minutes until they enter Fogland, and, through the barred windows of the van, they all see the entrance to Fogland, a towering mass of steel and justice. The entrance has one banner on top of it, presumably made by the prisoners. The guards tell the teachers that they are not allowed to take photos, and not to take out their belongings until they have turned them in. Dante looks around, thinking that even if he wanted to get some photos, he couldn't because of all this fog. It's to the point where nothing is truly visible. Well, this is Fogland after all. As they look on, a guard explains that they will be escorted to their classrooms after surrendering their belongings. They will be guided to their assigned classrooms, and they should follow instructions for everyone's safety. Dante thinks he's just trying to scare them, and the teachers are split up. Dante remains calm, even if a little shaken by the atmosphere. There is nothing to be afraid of after all. It's just a place where people are living. He is put in his classroom, where he has met with an isolation classroom, completely dividing him from the class. He thinks it's excessive. He beats on the reinforced glass in front of him, and wonders how he's going to teach with this in front of him. Just then, a guard opens the door and notes that the prisoners are about to enter. Until the end of class signal sounds, he is not to leave his seat under any circumstance, or they cannot guarantee his safety. Dante looks on, a little bit horrified of what's to come. The door to the classroom opens, and the guards push the prisoners inside. But these are not just simple men and women. They all look grotesque, out of this world. Dante's heart sinks as his eyes dart from one prisoner to another. But they just have to be human, right? Even then, how is he supposed to teach that guy, who has his neck held up? Or that one, who has no eyes? He suddenly remembers what the ethics teacher said, that they might be going to teach monsters. Dante snaps out of it, as that's just nonsense. He needs to get a grip, as people live here after all. He adjusts himself and picks up the mic in his room. He introduces himself, and thinks that first, he should try an icebreaker. There were probably lots of fun classes like art and music, but science was the most popular from his understanding. Perhaps they are trying to build a rocket and escape? The joke doesn't land at all. In short, he doesn't have the whole squad laughing, except one of them, the hairy one, who seems rather amused. Dante feels like he's about to die from self-induced cringe, but that's fine. Rather than rockets, they will start with an easier, funner topic. Today's lesson is getting closer to nature. In front of all of their desks, they have what is called a sweet potato. This is usually a lesson for elementary students. Most of those with world-class criminal titles are gang members, raised in criminal societies, so this kind of experience will be unfamiliar to them. Naturally, at first it may seem trivial, but with a small cup and water, and a little attention, they will see the sweet potato grow, and then, they will surely learn the value of life. He continues his explanation. All of them in Fogland are classified as dangerous criminals, but even so, today they came to learn. They are like this sweet potato, because they have an infinite capacity to grow, regardless of their environment. So from today onwards, they will try to grow sweet potatoes. One of them perks up, the prisoner whose head looks exactly like a sweet potato. asks if he's saying that he's one too. Dante did not mean it like that. He didn't even see his head shape before saying this. He suddenly stops explaining, as he hears and sees a bunch of them just chomping down on the raw potatoes. Dante tells them not to eat them, as they are supposed to watch them grow, but then stops himself and thinks, just what are these people? Even so, they did not come involuntarily, so why on earth are they here, if not to learn? Suddenly, one of them grabs his attention, telling him to stop talking about stupid shit, and tell them how to make fog already. Dante is a little taken aback, but connects the dots. This place does have a lot of fog, but are they curious about how it's created? The prisoner becomes annoyed. Seriously, a scientist who doesn't know fog. Dante notes that he's just a teacher, noting that this must be some joke he's trying to make. But suddenly, the reinforced glass in front of him shatters into a spiderweb formation. As the prisoner presses his head against it, Dante screams, clearly extremely surprised by what just happened, and reports back to the guards, noting that a prisoner is smashing the glass. That's when he remembers though, wasn't this reinforced glass? Before he can think more on that, the guards burst through the door, rifles in hand, and they tell Dante only one thing, get down. With that, they open fire all at once on the prisoners, pumping them full with lead, as Dante cowers behind the glass. Seeing the bullets being fired constantly, he bangs on his door, demanding that they stop, but a guard tells him to hold position until everyone is executed. Dante's breath has become ragged. He asks if they are really going to kill all those people, but they can't. No matter what they did, they can't just take their lives. He shuts up as the prisoner without eyes simply grabs one of the guards, holding him with only one hand, before crushing his skull through his reinforced helmet. Viscera flies around as the prisoners, who are more akin to beasts, rip through the guards, with no value for the lives they are taking. They don't care after all. Dante begins to hyperventilate. His eyes begin to narrow as the last vestiges of consciousness fail him. Before that though, he sees one lone prisoner, who hasn't even touched his potato, and has remained perfectly still. The thing is, that prisoner saw him too. Prisoner 182. Suddenly Dante begins to rustle awake. The first thing he sees is a fan, which has probably never worked, and besides him, someone crouching down. He opens his eyes better, revealing that person to be a prisoner, who looks at him as he gets up, his blue eyes boring into his. They remain like this for a while, until Dante asks who he is. That's when he looks around and realizes that he's trapped here, in this place. He asks where it is, and the prisoner says it's his house. Dante is confused, but as he looks at him, his mind begins to steady, and realizes that he really is in front of a prisoner. However, he wonders what had happened prior. He only remembers the riot, the guards who came in, shooting the prisoners, and how brutally they were killed. And he, at that moment, passed out. Dante asks if this is inside the prison, which makes the prisoner nod. Then he asks if this is Fogland, which makes the prisoner nod again. Dante begins to form an idea of what happened. Was he the one who brought him here? The prisoner nods again, and puts the potato he got from class in front of him. He wants him to teach him how to grow sweet potatoes. Dante's world crashes onto him. He thought this was just ignorance, but this is out of the bounds of common sense. He begins to quiver in anger. His breath becomes shallow as he begins to scream. He brought him here because of something stupid like growing sweet potatoes? Because of fucking sweet potatoes, he dragged him into a den of psychopaths. His mind is reeling. This is dangerous. The ethics teacher was right. These things aren't normal. They rip and tear until there's nothing left. He's going to die. He's really going to die. He looks at the prisoner, thinking that he's hiding something behind his back with his right hand. His mind steadies, his brain overridden by instinct. He smashes his shoulder into the prisoner, making him fall to the ground before clasping both of his hands on his throat. He thinks that he has him. This guy, compared to the others, is nothing. If he stays calm, he can handle the situation. Now, he only needs to take his weapon away. As he looks through, he sees that he doesn't actually have anything in his right hand. It's just gone. He calms down and ties down the prisoner to the bedside with his tie. He apologizes for the violence, but he got in danger because of his stupidity. Getting kidnapped while inside prison is absurd. He wants to grow sweet potatoes, right? He apologizes, but he can't teach something that is brainless. He tells to just eat it, and wonders when the guards will come, or when is mealtime at least. He looks around outside, thinking that after such chaos, the prison must be on high alert. The security forces are probably searching for him, and once he sees a guard or someone, he can get out. Unfortunately for him though, because of the intense fog, he can't see a damn thing in front of him. He begins to scream out, asking for help as he pushes the door, but then it suddenly clicks open. As he wonders why a prison door is open, he steps outside, where he sees where he really is. This place is more akin to a favela, and right below him, there are countless more similar buildings, all built along a large crater. He falls on his ass, as there's no way that this is a prison. He's panicking again, screaming, asking where he took him. Suddenly, 182 pushes his hand over his mouth and tells him to shut up. He's been yelling non-stop, and it's attracting attention. He can't leave this place, so he should just shut up and live. Dante can't believe what he's hearing. Live? Here? In this damn dump? He is a citizen. He doesn't belong here. He's not like the drags of society that live here, not like him. Suddenly, a fat prisoner appears over them, making Dante just stare him. He sees his scarred body and unreadable expression. Dante begins to cry a little bit, noting that this wasn't directed at him, and 182 looks at the prisoner, asking what he's looking at. Before Dante can react, the fat prisoner socks him, and he ends up half naked on 182's floor, who says again that he told him to shut up. Dante tells him that it's his fault now, even his clothes are gone. Why does he keep doing stupid shit that gets them in trouble? Does he seriously not think? Why did he pick a fight with a monster like that, when he doesn't even have an arm? Suddenly, 182 gets up from his sitting pose, making Dante think that he said too much. 182 slowly undressing doesn't help the situation either. He apologizes immediately, thinking he's about to become someone's bride. Instead of doing that though, 182 hands his jumpsuit to him and tells him to put it on. Dante is amazed by what just happened, but also by 182's body, which is covered in scars and toned. He slowly dressed into the jumpsuit, thinking that he should be more careful. As he zips it, Dante realizes that if he wears this, the rescue team might not recognize him. As 182 scrounges up through his belongings, he tells him that there's no rescue team looking for him. The guards were all killed. It's better if he doesn't stand out from the prisoners. That's just how it is in Fogland. He puts up another jumpsuit on him, a much dirtier one, and notes that they should go eat. Dante, hearing this, realizes something. Since it's mealtime, then maybe he can meet a guard. Inside the prisoner city, the fat prisoner from before is singing cheerfully, as the suit he got fits perfectly, like it was made for him. Those glasses he had too, they looked really cool. Maybe he should take them too. Suddenly, someone calling him honey asks where he got that outfit. The fat prisoner immediately bows down as much as he can, and explains that he found a nerd in the tofu village, a nerd with glasses, who just moved in. The boss understands, so that's where he was then. The fat prisoner agreed. He dared to wear fancy clothes, so he took them, as they were pretty cute. Suddenly the boss impales the fatty's head with his blade, making him fall to the ground, dead. He doesn't bother wiping away the blood on him. He just smiles, as he finally found who he was looking for, their dear teacher. Dante looks around and sees only a forest of thick cement, with residents that look like camouflage, and their eyes, those of starving beasts. He walks, a piece of rebar in his hand, right next to 182, wondering if these things are really human, or just beasts. This is Fogland. It looked like a prison at first, but it's more like a jungle. He asks if this really is a prison, as it's way too strange. Who built this? 182 just asks what, making Dante raise his tone, noting that it's weird. People are walking around freely. Some of them even seem drunk. Plus, those three over there, he wants to know if those are just decorations or something. Fogland was built by the United Nations. How could a place like this turn into a hellhole? 182 tells him to shut it, as his voice is too loud. Dante questions himself, wondering what he is doing. Why is he expecting him to explain things kindly? Is this Stockholm? This guy next to him is a kidnapper, and those eyes are similar to the others. He's just as dangerous, so he shouldn't trust him. They make their way to a place called the Chow Hall, where sure enough, people are eating, and rather normally at that. Dante picks up a tray too, and is confused by how normal everything looks. He takes a peek beyond the line and spots something, an actual honest-to-God guard, amongst the prisoners. A smile appears on his face. He can't believe it. He calms himself down though, as he still looks like he's just an inmate. He has to act as civilized as possible. He will show this man that he is different than this monster's. After 182 asks for extra ham, and is subsequently denied it, it's his turn. He asks the guard if he is a guard, and he says that he is. Dante comes closer, noting that he is a teacher assigned to the inmate education project. He was kidnapped during the riot by the man in the mask on his right, who can absolutely hear him. He probably knows there was a riot. If not, he should contact his superiors immediately, as they must be looking for him. Suddenly, Dante sees a line of drool coming out of his mouth, and looks into his eyes, only to find basically nothing. Before he can ask what is going on, the server smashes him over the head and tells him to get out if he's not going to get anything. Dante just has his tray filled with basic stuff, and as another prisoner eats from it, he looks on, completely defeated. He wonders what those eyes were about. Was that guy not a guard, perhaps? No, he was wearing a guard uniform. He even had a badge. However, he isn't seeing any other guards or officers. Are they looking for him? What's this situation about? In his heart of hearts, he realizes that something is extremely wrong, and that he is, in fact, screwed. At this rate, he will be stuck forever, just like this bastard next to him. He calls 182 as student, and notes that he wanted to grow sweet potatoes, right? This is his last resort. He will teach him how to grow sweet potatoes as much as he wants, but in return, he wants help getting out of here. He has decided to use his stupidity, but unfortunately, 182 isn't as stupid as he thinks he is, and asks if he thinks he's an idiot. Dante tells him that this is not what he meant at all. He said he brought him here because he wanted to learn how to grow sweet potatoes, right? Once he teaches him, he will have no reason to stay, so he will leave, right? 182 says nothing for a bit, then states that to get out of here, he has to become the supreme leader. Dante asks what that is. Is it like a boss or something? 182 tells him someone like him couldn't do it anyway. Dante never wanted to, but does he mean that only the top leader can contact the outside world? 182 raises his fork in the air and tells him, ascend or fall, that is the only way out. Dante doesn't understand. He should explain better, but 182 is done with the questions. Dante gets it. He's not going to help after all. He gets up, noting that there's no point in staying near him anymore. He's getting out of this filthy, horrible place right now. He will also come to regret this, because once he gets out, he won't escape the judgment of the law. He stops himself and begins walking, as trash like him should just rot in this place forever. Suddenly he hears someone call out for a teacher, and his name specifically. Everyone turns, and Dante is blinded by the prospect of a rescue team being here. He begins screaming, tears in his eyes, that he is here. His name is Kang Dante, science teacher at a public school, age 32. Suddenly he stops screaming as he sees who called out for him, a man taller than two people at once, and he smiles as he leans to Dante's level. He says that he really wanted to see him. He probably remembers that they met already. He took his potato class. Dante unknowingly takes a step back, agreeing. He could never forget after all. That was the first time he'd seen someone that huge. The servers and other prisoners begin to shake and breathe slowly, as that is one of the 6 shoulders of Cell 0, the tower. At that moment, Dante remembers how this man killed the security guards. He used another prisoner as a shield and spouted something about them being rude, since they are using guns. At that moment, he reached into his wide maw and pulled out a blade, an unbelievable act. With that, he began dancing through the guards, their screams being his tune. Dante falls to his knees, completely defeated, and asks why he's looking for him. Tower rustles through his pockets and notes that they have to continue the class. Oh, he's also not interested in sweet potatoes anymore. They should move on to the more advanced stuff, like making fog. The moment the others see the fog, they stare at it like it's their salvation, and it's apparently pretty, huge at that. Dante remembers that the guy who almost went through the glass asked him how to make fog too. So this is fog, this blue, writhing lump? He asks what this is, which makes Tower confused. He really truly doesn't know? He clenches his fist as there's no way. He's a science teacher. How could he not know? Were teachers not supposed to know anything about everything? Dante tells him that he's never seen stuff like this in the outside world. Tower is getting annoyed. They took classes for this, for the fog. The 6 shoulders gathered just for his class to take him back. Tower just grabs him, as it doesn't matter if he doesn't know. They will learn from now on, right? Seeing the blue pulsating thing coming closer to his face makes Dante frightened. The moment it begins to dissolve against his teeth, when the others salivate at the corner of their mouths, he throws himself off, as he doesn't want any. The moment the fog drops to the ground, everyone who is watching rushes in to grab it, and under Dante's confused eyes, they begin brawling. Tower isn't mad, he just laughs because, as he can see, everyone wants fog. In this place, it's akin to gold, and also a blessing of the gods. An elderly man has eaten the fog, but even as the others shove him, he stands tall. Even as they bite him and tear his flesh asunder with their teeth, he was smiling. The tower can't believe these dirty tofu village people though, getting all excited over a piece of fog. That old man will live in heaven today at least. Or perhaps, he will gain an incredible talent if there is more fog to be had. As he asks if he's interested, Dante feels the fog that was scraped on his teeth, and he begins to shake violently, before spilling everything he can out of his stomach. He asks himself why he even came here. Why would he even come to such a terrible place? Is he dumb? He sheepishly asks Tower to let him go home before screaming that he doesn't want to come. He can't make this shit. He's never seen anything like this before. He's not a damn scientist, he's a teacher. The Tower tells him to stop lying. He saw it in a drama. He saw a teacher making and selling good medicine. Dante tells him that the person was a chemistry professor. They are completely and entirely different. He doesn't even have a doctorate. He's just a damn high school teacher. Silence falls in the mess hall the moment he says this, broken only by Tower, who asks if he is incompetent. He was the first one to find the teacher. He thought he had won. He thought he could become the supreme leader. He begins to pull out the blade from his stomach, and Dante freezes, and Tower lunges at him, noting that he has no use for useless bastards. As he hears this, memories of his father come rushing through. He called him worthless too, for getting a teaching certificate. He didn't want him teaching children, as nobody in their family has ever missed a PhD. He was a stain on the family name, a creature who hadn't passed a single paper in 6 years. His mother concurred that what he was doing was running away, instead of trying to try preparing for another thesis. His brother told them to stop it, as there's nothing wrong with being a teacher after all. They should let him do at least that, as he's already having it the hardest. He's failed his doctorate for 6 years after all. This was his family. A father famous enough to be on TV, a mother with a doctorate in law, and a brother who became a member of a psychology society at a very early age. He too was respected on the lectern, but at home, he was treated worse than an animal. At one point, as they were having dinner, Dante showed his father a paper about the prison and explained that it's a United Nations prison. He will teach people. It's organized by the UN, and the pay is considerable. His brother knew the place. It's the one they call Fogland, right? He thought it was awesome, as he heard all the crazy people go there. Dante told him that they were people, and his mother asked why he would go that far. She is content with a steady income from the school now. His father was confused too. Why was he doing this? What kind of stunt is he trying to pull? Dante gulped and told him that giving learning opportunities to people who had few chances to learn, that is something valuable to an educator. At that moment, his brother spilled his wine over his shirt, and he was amused by just how grand that sounded. He should know that that's not professional. It's an impulse born out of the desire to be recognized. It's not that he failed to get a doctorate, but that he's pretending to have chosen a different path, pretending like he's on a mission for good. That's why he acts like he's equal to them. He's trying to justify incompetence with eccentric acts, right? Dante asked why he judged other people's thoughts as his own, but his brother noted that he was just worried. As this is reckless, doing such a thing, out of a mere inferiority complex, it's only proof of stupidity. Now he thinks his brother is right. He was a fool. That was an incredibly dumb idea. Now he will die, surrounded by monsters in this filthy and ugly place. It seems that the one who was an idiot was always him after all. Suddenly though, 182 loses his hood and throws a fork so hard at Tower's arm that it goes through his arm and embeds itself in a nearby wall. Naturally, Tower drops his blade and screams violently at his broken arm. He turns around, demanding to know the bastard who dared to bring in a gun. At that moment though, 182 rushes in, grabbing a tuft of his hair and under everyone's vision, preparing a deadly strike. Suddenly, his knee connects with Tower's spine, not just cracking it, but shattering it altogether. As Tower begins to fall, everyone is left speechless, and he sees a Tower as he shatters the ground with his body. Dante looks on in amazement, and the prisoners note that a new shoulder has been born on this day. They all rush in right over Tower's corpse, the one they used to fear just moments prior, and want to hear the name of the new shoulder. 182 just looks at Dante, and notes that they should go before grabbing him and getting out of there. After they stop walking, Dante can't believe that he is alive. His body had already surrendered to death. He looks at 182, and thinks that he is strong, extremely so. He asks if that sweet potato thing was a lie. Why did he even sign up for the class in the first place? Is it because of the fog? 182 asks if he can make fog, and Dante immediately denies it, and apologizes constantly, making 182 a little confused. He explains that he originally went because they said he would get new clothes. He just saw a line blocking the street, and one of the prisoners told him that outsiders had come. They said they would teach them something. Since the competition was fierce, he suggested that he line up too. 182 didn't want to at first, but when the prisoner said that he would get new clothes, he immediately slipped in line, waiting patiently for his new clothes. Dante didn't expect that to be his reason, but why then did he save him? 182 notes that he didn't save him. He saved his new clothes. However, he didn't even teach him anything, and he soiled his new clothes too, by peeing on them. Dante hadn't even realized that this was the case, and after going to the shower room and acquiring new clothes through iffy means, Dante begins washing the clothes he was given, as he wants to return them. He wonders though, is that ragged thing he's wearing a sentimental piece? Or why did he keep it if he had new clothes? 182 looks at him, confused, and points at the number on it, claiming that it's his. Dante knew that already, but why didn't he throw it away? 182 tells him that it has 182 on it. It's his, and that says 182 on it too. Both are his. Dante is becoming confused too. Does he mean that the dirty clothes are precious too? Well, he guesses he doesn't have the arm to wash them, so he will wash them for him too. After washing everything properly, they return to 182's house and dry it up. Dante takes a look at his watch. It's past the exact hour, meaning that a whole day has passed while trapped in this place. Escape aside, the monsters called Shoulders are still definitely looking for him. They might have learned his location from the earlier commotion at the mess hall, so he has to make his way out of here tomorrow. As his stomach grumbles, he thinks that he should have taken a bite out of that disgusting soup earlier. Suddenly, he notices the sweet potato 182 is keeping, and thinks that he can have a little bite anyway, as he can't grow it in this place anyway. Before he can do that though, 182 smacks it out of his hand and tells him to buzz off. Dante, defeated, notes that he was just hungry. Can he have a little bit to eat? 182 gets down and denies his request, as this is his. He etched his number on it after all. Dante thinks this is absurd and asks if he will grow it. Does he even know how to? 182 doesn't. But anyway, if he kills his sweet potato, he will kill him in return. Dante can't believe how dumb this guy is. His vocabulary is at a kindergarten level, and his behavior would be primitive if not for the few words that he speaks. However, in a way, this is rather favorable for him. He asks what if that sweet potato already has a sealed fate. 182 asks why that is, and Dante explains that he engraved his number into it, and potatoes get sick because of that. It's called browning. Seeing the worry in his eyes, Dante pushes further, noting that there is a way to revive it. Since their previous trade failed, it's hard for him to tell him this, but he will tell him one thing. He needs sunlight. Fogland's fog is thick enough to block the sunlight, so he has to go to a place with thinner fog. 182 tells him that this tofu village has the least amount of fog, but Dante tells him that it won't be enough, as even clothes don't dry well here. At minimum, he must get to the gate in front of the fortress. The entrance to Fogland, that is. Somewhere else, a craftsman is hard at work, making the best possible support for Tower using metal. He is naturally in pain, and asks how long this will heal, but one of his men tells him not to worry. He brought the best architect. The Tower wanted him to bring a doctor, but anyway, what the hell happened there? His talent has accumulated for a long time inside of the fog. The strength of his spinal bone is probably stronger than rebar, especially his neck bone, but with a single strike he shattered it. That stupid teacher is useless for now. He has to go after the brat now, as he's definitely monopolizing fog somewhere. Suddenly, a familiar voice notes that he really found the teacher after all. It's the man from before, who attacked Dante. The others didn't even notice that he was there, but he ignores their reaction and finds it amusing that Tower got his neck broken. Tower is not too pleased with him appearing in his hideout like a rat, but the man thought they formed an alliance. They said they would share if they found the teacher. Tower tells him to stop spouting nonsense. After all, he is the one who will become the supreme leader. Suddenly, the man grabs the hammer from the architect and notes that his dreams are far too big compared to the talent that he has. Tower tells him to wait. He wouldn't attack an injured person, as that would be cowardly, right? The man ignores his pleas, as when he sees bastards like him, the only thing he wants to do is smash them into pieces. He pulls the hammer into Tower's neck. This is the shoulder of Section 0. Hound. After beating everyone in the hideout to a pulp, Hound turns to his band of riders and notes that they will have to go to Tofu Village. With that, they all mount up and get going through the foggy streets of the prison. As Dante and 182 walk, Dante wonders what he has in this bag of his, as it's heavy. 182 notes that it's his, and Dante forgot to ever ask. But what is his name? 182 notes that the people around here call him One Arm, but Dante is a little confused. Doesn't he have a name? 182 repeats that this is what they call him, but Dante thinks it's rather uncivilized, so he will continue calling him 182. He also asks why he is going around wearing a mask. Is he a thief, perhaps? How did he end up in Fogland anyway? 182 tells him that he was always here, but Dante doesn't understand. What's that supposed to mean? 182 is tired of his questions. He's a teacher, so why is he the one asking? Dante tells him he's also human, but 182 is not done, as he also talks too much, and his voice is too loud. With that, they walk in silence for a while, until Dante falls on his ass, and notes that they should rest a bit. He's hungry, and he has no energy either. He wonders how much further to the entrance. They've been walking for 2 hours already, but they keep seeing the same path, over and over again. 182 tells him that he doesn't know the way, making Dante angry. Why is he only saying that now? Have they just been walking for 2 hours for nothing? This is crazy. He slumps on his back, as he can't go on. Either he will carry him on his back, or get him something to eat, if he wants to save that sweet potato. Suddenly, 182 falls on his face, and Dante gets up swiftly to check on him, and sees that he's completely dehydrated. He tries to wake him up, scared that something dangerous might have happened to him, but he's more afraid of the fact that he will be left alone in this place. He begins to shake 182 violently, pleading, screaming at him to wake up. Suddenly, a man plummets to the ground from the air, right behind him. As Dante turns around, he grabs his pupils, opening them wide to see his eye. The man is surprised, as he's a normal person, isn't he? He apologizes for being so rude. It's just that he heard a loud noise, so he was curious about what was going on. Dante and 182 are taken to what seems to be an apartment building, and is given something to eat, which he does so greedily. The other person in the apartment tells him not to eat that fast, as he's going to get indigestion. He should eat slowly, as there's more where that came from. Dante thanks them, as they saved his life, while also thinking that he never expected to see normal people here. The man introduces himself as Rambutan, and the other as Lychee. Dante also introduces himself and notes that this is the first time he's met anyone here with whom he can have a normal conversation. He also didn't expect to see a woman here. Lychee hugs Rambutan and asks if she really looks like a woman. She cut her hair to look more like a man, as being a woman in this place makes one stand out. Rambutan explains that they came from the inside. The closer one gets to the center, the concept of blocks pretty much dissipates. Dante is curious. Are there a lot of normal people like them in the center? Rambutan doesn't think so necessarily, but Tofu Village is full of losers who get pushed to the side. Anyway, is he new, or hasn't he done the fog yet? Dante explains that he is not an inmate. It's hard to explain the details due to some circumstances, but he was kidnapped by that guy who collapsed over there. Rambutan asks if he means that he was kidnapped into Fogland, and realizes that he was probably kidnapped during the teacher kidnapping operation. Dante sheepishly asks how they know about that, and Rambutan confirms that everyone knows. The enforcers set it up beforehand. They even took over so nobody else would attend classes. Dante understands that's what happened then. But then what were those idiots in the administration doing? Rambutan didn't expect to meet the main character of that whole ordeal, and Dante asks him, even if out of line, if he's not a spy for those enforcers. Rambutan denies as such, and Lychee asks what happened, as she's never seen an enforcer like that before. Dante doesn't think he's actually an enforcer. He kidnapped him to learn how to grow a sweet potato. Hearing this, Rambutan can't help but laugh, as that's the last thing he could have expected. Dante doesn't even mind that they are laughing, in his situation, which is like something out of a dark comedy. Their laughter is like sympathy. Seeing him cry, Rambutan stops and asks if he's being held captive by him. Dante doesn't think so right now. He's just traveling with him as a makeshift bodyguard, but he probably got a heat stroke, as he collapsed all of a sudden. Lychee explains that it's limbo. It's a type of withdrawal from the fog. He probably saw the people sprawled on the streets around everywhere. They fell into limbo because they couldn't get fog. They snap out of it eventually, but if limbo repeats, their brains start to turn into mush. Dante is confused then. Just what is fog? The two look at each other, and Rambutan notes that he really doesn't know anything about this place, does he? Fog is a divine medicine that grants talent. It amplifies the talent one never knew they had, or one they yearn for. Dante asks if something like that is possible. and Rambutan notes that not only is it possible, it is also allows one to transcend human limits. With this power, they are going to break out of prison after all. Dante stares at the two of them, both in awe and in fear. Hound gets to 182's cell, but finds it completely barren. Well, they couldn't have gone far, but he should hurry, as the others are probably searching for him too, like Bone Eater, Nunface, Fusyback, and Drillhead. Rambutan and Lychee ask Dante if he will come with them, which he agrees to at first but then stops. While he appreciates the offer, as a civilian, meeting guards or the operating bureau should come first. If he gets clumsily involved with prisoners and escapes, he will really be charged, and that is if they succeed. If they don't, he won't have to worry about it anymore. Rambutan tells it how it is. He will never see the operating bureau or anyone else here, as nobody wants to try and enter Fogland. That's due to fog addiction. Step in wrong, and he will be unable to live without the fog. That goes for him too. Dante is confused, as he never used fog, and doesn't plan to. Rambutan notes that it's not about what he wants. He's been here what, 2, 3 days? Has he ever thought about the dense fog here? That fog itself is particles of fog, the thing he's been trying to hide from. Fog is the God-given gift that grants talent. To manifest that talent, countless fog particles are needed. To become addicted, though, the particles alone are enough. The fog slowly seeps into his lungs, and he will constantly crave more fog. If he can't obtain it, he will eventually fall into limbo. Dante wonders if he's already addicted, if he's already screwed. Rambutan notes that there's a chance. Limbo is the first stage when it really starts. Everyone's tolerance differs, so he cannot say when, but there is no time to relax. Dante says it how it is. Even if they are to escape, they are already screwed, addicted. Lychee confirms as such. But even so, she's never heard of anyone who left this place alive. Maybe in the distant future, natural recovery could happen, or if they expose this prison, an antidote might be made. However, they promised not to die here, and Rambutan agrees. Even if they fall into limbo and forget each other, they will be, at one point, under the same sky. Dante is feeling annoyed, but their feelings are real. These two really mean it. Suddenly, 182 wakes up, and everyone notices, looking at him like a phantom. Dante wonders what they should do, as he doesn't need to waste time on that sweet potato. What if he tells him he will escape with these two? Will he attack? What if he kills them? Like that guy. 182 pulls out his sweet potato and asks if the coast is clear. Dante doesn't know how to answer, and Rambutan asks why he is so afraid. He's just a fog zombie. Once someone falls into limbo, they'll have no strength until the next fog, so he will win. Dante feels relieved to hear that. He was worried they might get hurt. Rambutan tells him not to worry, and raises his leg in the air. If he has a problem though, shouldn't they kill him now? They all look at each other, but Dante tells him to hold on, as there's no need to kill him. He crouches down to his level, and notes that he's leaving. He has no intention of living here, so they should each go their own way. 182 asks about the sweet potato, so Dante grabs it and puts it in a cup with some water before handing it to him. If he does it like this, the sweet potato will grow on its own. Naturally, it will need sunlight, so he should go and show it to it. 182 notes that he doesn't know the way, but Dante doesn't care. He tells Rambutan to chase this guy away, as he will go with them, whether they will get gunned down or arrested. He just wants to get out of here. With that, 182 is thrown out with the cup and sweet potato. He looks at it for a long time, and remembers when someone from his childhood, who asked if he knew what a puppy is, or a cat. They are animals, like crows, but with fluffy fur, and they are very cute. If a person raises one, it understands words and follows commands. She fluffed his hair and noted that she wanted to raise one too, someday, when she got outside. With that memory, 182 reaches for the potato, as he does not want to let go again. Somewhere else, a few prisoners measure something. It apparently moved 20 centimeters. The thing they are measuring being a demonic-looking thing, which is now holding a leg in its third arm. It appears that someone was foolish enough to try to escape. Inside the apartment, Dante puts his hand on the wall and asks how they are going to break out of here. Rambutan crouches and notes that he will show him. Dante's keen eyes observe as his legs charge up mysteriously, before he goes through the ceiling at an incredible speed and completely breaking through. He is shocked and asks what this is. Lychee explains that Rambutan has an incredible talent for jumping, so the plan is to simply jump over the wall. They go up to a higher vantage point, and Lychee taps a bead on her head, making her eyes glow incredibly. Using that, she begins mapping a huge part of the prison right there. Dante is amazed. A talent for drawing what she's seen only once, like a photograph. Is this perhaps all of Fogland? She explains that it's a map she made while coming here from the center. This is only a fraction of what's been recorded. Dante's mind is puzzled. If this is only a fraction, just how big is this hellhole? Lychee continues, noting that since Tofu Village is not that big, they probably came a long way. They might reach the edge soon. Dante grabs the pencil and notes that she did not draw this. The 4 vagrants that are on this side. Lychee grabs her pencil back and asks why she's supposed to do that, but Dante just wanted her to mark potential threats. He's guessing this red one is the same, but what is it? The two give each other knowing looks, and Rambutan notes that they will be getting out of here soon, so it doesn't matter. He asks Lychee to give him directions, and after she does, he grabs both of them and dashes away. In a dark corner, a few people are suffering together, without fog and without food. Suddenly, someone comes and asks if they've got any fog. making them all look up and wonder who this idiot is. 182 asks them again, and they wonder if they look like they have any. 182 then asks them to empty their pockets, causing one of the larger men to smack him across the face, demanding to know what the hell he is talking about. They are starving to death, and he dares to ask for shit. One of them, a skinnier one, suggests that they eat him. They say that one can get fog from human flesh. Those bone eaters eat people for fog, after all. The others don't know what to say, even if they are hungry. Doing something like this is a little much. Lunch is almost here anyway. He points his spoon at 182 and wonders where they should begin eating. Maybe they should drain his blood first and drink that. As he thinks, Hound slaps him the hell out of the way, straight into someone else. The slap was so hard that the hungry guy's eardrums got pushed out. Slowly and surely they realize that the man in front of them is Hound, so they all begin to run away, as they do not want trouble with someone of his stature. Hound crouches down to 182 and notes that he finally found him, a visible smile on his face. On the day of the teacher kidnapping incident, as the other prisoners were fighting, Hound broke through the glass that was keeping Dante saved and grabbed him. He began to run away, thinking that he had won. Those stupid bastards were too busy to even notice that he had nabbed the teacher. Also, he had a score to settle with that tower bastard, who dared to use his crew member as a meat shield. He had forgotten the alliance they made, but punishment will be swift. Suddenly though, he noticed that someone was actually following him. He turned around and asked which crew he was from. Judging by the look he had, he guessed either Eater or Drillhead. He then noticed the potato in his hand, and 182 himself asked if he is also wanting to grow sweet potatoes. Hound asked what the hell he was talking about, so 182 suggested they should ask the teacher. Hound naturally got mad. He was already in a bad mood because of what happened to his men. As he clenched his fist, he suddenly dashed incredibly toward 182 and prepared to take his head off with one single punch. Before that could land though, 182 simply got out of the way and clenched two fingers in the hand he was holding the potato with, before hitting Hound squarely in the body. The strike aimed for his organs, and it seemed to have hit well, as Hound was reeling on the ground, unable to do anything as 182 grabbed the teacher. Hound grabs his head and asks about the teacher. Did he treat him well? Hound grabs the mask he was wearing off, and reveals that 182 is still in limbo. How pathetic. He asks again if he has any fog, and Hound brings him back to his hideout. The one who died in the teacher kidnapping was his second in command, D. Which they had a memorial for, and offered drinks every time. Right next to that, a bunch of his men are breaking each finger on 182's hand, but he doesn't seem to be reacting or saying anything. They ask if he wants to use his toes as a spoon from now on. If not, he should tell them where that damn teacher is. 182 repeats what he said previously. If they give him some fog, he will speak. One of the torturers wonders how long he can keep this facade of not caring, and tells his friend to break another one. Unfortunately, he already broke all 5, so they have to move on to his toes. The new second in command of Hound, Slick, wonders if that bastard won't just get accustomed to the pain at this point. They really should just give him one fog, as this is a waste of their time. Hound denies that idea, and tells him to never give this bastard any fog. Slick wonders what's so scary about him. There's no way such a skinny runt is scary. Hound asks if he really sees just a scrawny kid. He should look at the depth of his muscles. His body is trained to the absolute extreme. His body fat is probably under 5% at this point. One of his men who is training notes that he's perfectly cut. It's admirable, if anything. Slick believes that it doesn't do him any good. One also needs body fat if they don't want to take big hits. Hound notes that he probably doesn't feel any pain, since he's not reacting at all to the stimulus they are giving him. Slick notes that the other shoulders have begun to move as well. The news that the teacher is in Tofu Village has been spread. If the teacher falls into the hands of another shoulder, they won't have a chance. He thoughtlessly broke the alliance first, before D-Dad even died. No matter how much he thinks about it, killing Tower was a mistake too. Hound tells him that it was no mistake. To those who harm their brothers, only blood awaits. He shouldn't act like a worthless bastard. Slick says that if he thinks about it more, that's what he actually meant. They need to gather fog, as D-Dot would want that too. He wouldn't want them sulking around here. Suddenly, Hound smashes his fist on the table and grabs his drink, noting that they will never let D-Dot's death be in vain. For him, they will definitely ascend all at once. He cheers for their fallen brother, and the others do the same. But suddenly, he spits what he was drinking out violently, and crouches to the ground. They all gather around him and ask if he is okay, and Hound tells them to not to make a fuss, as he was just choking. That's a lie though. When 182 hit him, he precisely aimed for his ribs and stabbed. He's sure that he hit his damn liver. He throws the crushed up can at his head, and notes that he may fool other people, but not him. What he did back then wasn't luck, but technique, especially in Fogland, where people only trust power from fog and pick fights. That was Krav Maga, wasn't it? And the shoes he's wearing, steel-fitted. Was he perhaps a soldier? Eventually, Dante and the others arrive at a gate, and his eyes light up upon seeing it, thinking that this really is the exit. Suddenly though, Rambutan grabs him and tells him to wait a moment, as that thing is being guarded by a watchtower. Dante wonders if there really is someone in that watchtower, but Rambutan says they can't say for certain. Dante notes that if there's someone, maybe he could go alone, but Lychee wonders what he's going to do all alone. Knock on the door maybe? Suddenly, a head appears out of the ground, and notes that they will shoot him. They will start shooting the moment they get close to the door. Lychee understands, but then they all realize that he wasn't supposed to be here. Dante asks what this is. Is this a sentient sweet potato? When the drillhead gets mad again about being called a sweet potato, Dante remembers that he was actually in his class when the incident happened. Rambutan gets in the middle of the two, as he knows that this person is a shoulder. Dante is finding it hard to believe, especially since he has such a shapely head. Suddenly, people wearing warning cones appear and put them on the ground on each side, surrounding them. Drillhead dashes from below, introduces himself as the man closest to be the supreme leader. He goes to grab Dante as he needs his knowledge, but that's when Rambutan kicks him squarely in the face, as the teacher is coming with them. Before falling, Drillhead is caught by his men, and as he grabs his face, he asks what he is. Rambutan tells him not to interfere, as he found this person first. Drill can't believe it. He rolled in here like a mangy mutt, and he doesn't even know how to be afraid. He suddenly balances himself like a ballerina and begins to spin around, the air around him shifting. Dante sees that he's basically doing ballet, but suddenly Drillhead begins to rotate himself in the ground and approaches them swiftly. He appears right behind Dante, giving him no time to react, but before he can do anything, Rambutan smashes his foot, just as Drillhead escapes. As he drills even more holes, he calls him too slow, and Rambutan still tries to get him, as Dante cowers in fear. Eventually, Drillhead finds an opening and shoves his pointy head straight into Rambutan's back, sending him flying into a wall. Seeing her lover hurt, Lychee screams out with a womanly voice, and the others immediately react. Drillhead reacts too, and one of them takes her jumpsuit off, revealing that she is indeed a woman. As more and more grab her, Dante feels a deep feeling, fear, shame, because this is happening because of him. But suddenly, he feels anger too. He picks up a rock and throws it at one of the men who grabbed Lychee, straight in his head. They are all surprised, including Lychee, but he doesn't stop there. He unleashes a barrage of rocks, hitting even Lychee at one point, who manages to grab his hand before he can throw another and tells him to stop. As Dante comes to, they both run away, and Drillhead notes that the woman is pretty, but as he does this, he looks at Rambutan, gauging his reaction. Suddenly, they both dash in the direction of the two who are running. Unfortunately for Dante, Rambutan grabs Lychee, as Drillhead grabs him and disappears into the ground with him, sealing his fate. Back in his hideout, Hound asks if he's a soldier or special forces. He too used to be the kind of bastard who fought in real battles. Before coming to Fogland, that is. He gets up and tells Slick to beat that guy within an inch of his life. He wants to see how long he can last without any fog. With that, he disappears, and Slick feels annoyed, and one of them asks if he will do it. If not, maybe they should do it together. Slick tells him to stop talking, and notes that Hound has no qualities to be a leader. He's an irresponsible bastard. Should be Hound? The one who will become the supreme leader, he means. If there is lots of fog, anyone can get a chance. For example, Inko is good at drawing. In a way, he also has the qualities to become the supreme leader. Even Bulk, even if he's not smart, he has the potential. Bulk asks about him, and Slick notes that he's felt his IQ rising as of late. A little bit every morning when he wakes up, he realizes how stupid Hound is. Trying to become someone through the logic of strength is getting old now. This is the age of the brain, in this world. That is the power that is needed. Bulk asks what he's going to do. Slick notes that first, he will find out where the teacher is, and he will not share it with Hound. The rest of them will have to decide by themselves who to follow. He stoops over to 182 and asks if he wants this that much. He shows him a bead of fog, noting that he will give it to him. At the same time, Dante lands in the gutters with Drillhead, who looks at him with a rather happy smile on his face. He welcomes him. He is now in his underground kingdom. Slick pops the bead of fog in his mouth, noting that in return for this, he will come under his command and share information about the teacher afterward. He dangles the bead on his tongue, noting that he should think it over, as he doesn't give the same chances twice. As he swallows it though, 182 instantly appears at his throat, and rips it apart as he grabs the fog from his still swallowing throat. The others barely process this as it happens, and only realize after Slick slumps back, his throat completely gone. They go over to him, trying to see if he's still breathing, but then they begin hearing crack after crack, as 182 dresses his fingers back into position. He looks at them, his eyes glowing like a true demon from below. Down below, Dante wonders if Rambutan and Lychee escaped. They probably did. By now they must have left him behind. Well, they had no other reason to wait for him, so he understands. Whatever, he's cooked anyway. Drillhead looks at him with a happy grin, and asks if he can really make fog. The Tofu Village guys were saying so. The teacher whipped up fog in an instant, and he ate the fog before breaking Tower's neck. Dante wonders how a rumor like that even appeared, and Drillhead asks if it's true. Dante would like to deny it, but seeing what happened the last time he was found useless, he decides to say that it is indeed true. He quickly made a huge fog and swallowed it. The tower fell to his legs like a puppet. Drillhead tells him to stop lying. He is not as dumb as the other bastard. He doesn't believe in the ridiculous superstition that the science teacher can make fog. He's someone who doesn't believe in stupid stuff like that. Dante doesn't know about superstition. If nobody knows how to make fog, then it shouldn't exist in the first place. Drillhead tells him that fog wasn't made by man. One day, suddenly, it just fell from the sky. Dante remembers the story of the meteorite striking this desert. Is that perhaps the source of the fog? The thing that is powering these beasts? Drillhead notes that with 50 years already passing, there are rumors going around that there's not much fog left. Soon, Judgment Day will be upon them. Dante understands now. It's all limited resource then. Drillhead confirms as such. With the little fog left, the prisoners are struggling, but the fog just cycles around. He orders his men to bring him something, which is a dead, naked guy. Drillhead explains that it's someone who died after taking fog, and he was wondering, can he separate the fog from his blood? Scientifically, of course. Dante is shocked, and asks what he's talking about, so Drillhead explains it better. He's referring to that 3 days ManhwaCapped device thing that spins around. Dante asks if he's talking about a centrifuge, and Drillhead agrees, and notes that people who took a lot of fog have it in their blood, in deep amounts. Dante asks if he just wants him to squeeze out a damn corpse. If it's fog concentration, wouldn't it be better to open his nostrils and breathe in? The fog mist is everywhere after all. Drillhead grabs him by the throat and tells him to stop spouting shit. If that were enough, they wouldn't need the fog. One simply cannot gather air. He has to scrape it together and compress it. Dante suddenly connects the phenomenon to the rising sun. Mist, he realizes, is merely water vapor that has reached its dew point. Since it's fundamentally H2O, it can be harvested through condensation under the right thermal conditions. He explains to Drillhead that with the right equipment, they can trigger this phase change to extract both water and the fog he so desperately wants. Eventually, Hound comes back, noting that they should have breakfast, but he finds his entire hideout in ruin and all of his men dead. His eyes become bloodshot immediately, and he screams out in pure anger and anguish. At Chow Hall, 182 walks in, his hand extremely inflamed because of the broken bones. He moves through everyone and asks for one thing, water. This server tells him to line up, and the others tell him to line up too, as these are the rules. Suddenly, 182 smashes his broken hand into the service station and asks for water again. He is given said water, and he pulls the potato inside of the cup along with it. He sits there, waiting, staring at it. Meanwhile, Dante actually succeeds in gathering fog water from a piece of cloth. He celebrates, thinking that he is a genius. Now nobody can touch him. 182 continues staring at the potato, but it doesn't grow. It seems he was fooled. So the teacher, he will have to kill him now. Rambutan and Lychee begin asking around. They find an innocent-looking man and tell him that they can escape together. There is definitely a way out of here. The innocent-looking man seems puzzled at first, but then pulls out a combat knife and tells them to get lost. As they walk, Lychee notes that no matter how dumb or naive someone looks, it's still no. In this place, there is nobody who doesn't know about that thing. Rambutan guesses that it's only Dante who does, and she notes that Drillhead's hideout is on the map she made. This is a fog catcher, a device that produces water from air in arid countries or dry regions. The principle is rather simple. Water vapor in the air condenses at the dew point when the temperature drops. At dawn, when the temperature falls, moisture in the fog is captured through a mesh-type net and thus converted into water. If one can replace the net with a breathable insect screen and shape the bottom into a curve to guide dew to the collection area, the water gathered will likely contain lots of fog. Drillhead asks what this fog water is, and Dante notes that it's water made from the pure fog of Fogland. Drillhead dips his fingers in and tastes it. The moment he does, his eyes widen, as this is fog. They all begin to dance around, as they realize that they have obtained infinite fog, and throw Dante high in the air, praising him as the teacher. After this, Dante is then dressed appropriately, with a makeshift suit and tie. Drillhead notes that he may be a suit guy by nature, but he looks rather different. Does he like the refit? Dante notes that it's made nicely, like a dress shirt, and Drillhead promises that starting today, nobody will lay a finger on him, as clothes tailored this finely are not just for anyone. He welcomes him to their organization, and promises to treat him with the highest respect. Dante remembers what he said, that he was the closest to the Supreme Leader, and also remembers what 182 said, that to get out of here, he has to become the Supreme Leader. He thinks that through this guy, he can perhaps contact the administration. Drillhead notes that they will hold a grand fog festival today. Thanks to him, they no longer need to conserve it, so they're going to use every bit of fog gathered for his ascension. Dante doesn't react and wonders what that is. Drillhead's men sing and dance around the copious amounts of fog they have gathered, until Drillhead notes that it's enough. Dante is surprised by the amount of fog. Are they about to throw a massive trip party, or what? Drillhead notes that he is the king of the underground, and their king. This is the moment their efforts are finally bearing fruit. With the fog they have saved for so long, he will challenge Ascension today. All of his men cheer him on, wanting to see him ascend and finish this. Drillhead looks back at Dante and tells him to watch closely. Watch the true birth of a king. He begins to gorge on the fog, under everyone's gaze. His men continue their ministrations, telling him to ascend, and he continues eating until there are only a few pieces of fog left, and his belly swells uncontrollably. Seeing nothing happening, Drillhead thinks that today is not the day either. He has consumed tons of fog in his life, but even so, one of his men notes that his talent is so fast that it cannot keep up with his body, so they will keep trying. Suddenly though, they all point and see that his head has grown exponentially. They all begin to cheer again, thinking that he finally ascended, and Drillhead too can feel the universe. He is in the place where all the fog came from. He can see all the truths of the world. As he begins to swell in other places, He says that all of them live in a pale blue hell. Suddenly, he simply bursts open, his vessel not being able to hold in all the fog. The men cheer, as this is a fall, and 182's words ring in Dante's head. Either you ascend, or you fall. He watches on, a face of pure shock as the others cheer. After he fell, a rain of fog is pouring down. This is what he meant by festival, the act of his people eating out of him. Dante can only watch as they eat, and as they begin bursting, proving once and for all that he is in an entirely different world, the world of Fogland. Thank you for watching. See you next time.